that allows us to kind of segue into what is the makeup of a destination practice. Not necessarily the equipment that's in it, but in many cases, this is also very paramount. And one of the things that we're touching on here is the ecosystem. You have to build an ecosystem, right? So when we designed our workshop and workshops, especially this next upcoming workshop, which is really going to be focused on building out a destination practice. And there's multiple elements to it. You have your full ecosystem. We're touching on operations. We're talking about the packaging, talking about the outcomes. There's a lot of thought that goes into structuring this. Now, this idea keeps surfacing that these successful practices that are building ecosystems also don't and can't rely on a single service. There's multiple components to it. Our body makeup isn't singular, right? We don't just have to eat one vitamin. We have to consume multiple vitamins, right? It's the functionality of our body. And so is the services and the treatments that go into it. Now, as we're building out these ecosystems, there's a couple different directions that we can focus in on, and we'll start breaking these down. But let's talk about measurement. First touch point in a practice, right? How important is that first touch point to truly understand what's happening inside the body? And you brought up DEXA as a touch point. We can also reference, call it metabolic, right? Our metabolic data outside of blood work, right? DEXA, body composition, RMR, VO2 max. How important is this objective data at that onset?
Oh, it's vital. I think that's vital. You have to have a starting point, right? I remember there's, I mean, multiple occasions, but again, to bring up this last project that I was just on, we're talking a budget of 25 million to try to set this up and try to set up a system, a company, like as a startup. But we were trying to determine, we wanted that destination, location. And so like to be a part of that it was a tremendous honor, but it was a very trying experience trying to get everybody on the same page, right? And because we're talking about bias, everybody in the same room wants to have they each want their specific thing to kind of hang their hat on when they're trying to create this multidisciplinary health and wellness facility that has literally everything from concierge medicine to boutique fitness to chiropractic to physical therapy, all of your different therapies. I mean, literally everything, assisted stretch, I mean, everything. And trying to get everybody on the same page. One of the things that I went back on and I continue to kind of go back on, and they finally kind of woke up to the idea, is that we have to have a global assessment. Before we do everything else, we have to have a global assessment. And so that is basically, kind of goes back to what you're saying is building that ecosystem, right? And in order for us to have that ecosystem, we have to have in my opinion, at that point, it was a global assessment. And so once we had kind of a starting point, then we were able to kind of reverse engineer like everything that we wanted. And then we could basically align that with everything that we had for our assessment. DEXA was a big part of that. We did a markerless motion capture for range of motion. We did our lab work. We did our VO2 max, RMR. We tried to compile literally everything that we could as part of that initial assessment. So regardless of what the patient or the client, and we had an aesthetics line in this too, right? So regardless of what the client, we have supplements. We had just everything you could think of under the sun with this. And so in order for us to essentially figure out how to create that, we had to have a starting point, and the starting point was that assessment. And so that's how you can then create an ecosystem, so everything kind of flows from that beginning point.